I graduated from the University of Akron, Akron U, as we used to call it back in the day. Shout out to the Book of Light, shout out to WZIPFL, shout out to my friends and alumni. But increasingly, I've realized as of late that my university, my beloved university, is ran by cowards. President's office, board, just straight up cowards. Now, why would you say that, Kevin? You love that university. I do. However, as you see by this, University of Akron pulls plug on Rethinking Race series following Trump's order to end DEI programs. So, University spokeswoman said Rethinking Race will not return in 2025's budget because of federal guidance eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, Rethinking Race is a program that's been around for like almost 20 years. And it all stemmed from, if we go back years ago, like back in the early 90s, the Akron Beacon Journal, a newspaper here in Akron, they had a series where they talked about questions about race or something like that, questions about color, I think, where they talk about this discussions between black folks and white folks in Akron. From that became the organization Coming Together, led by the wonderful Dr. Fannie Brown. I love Dr. Brown. She's fantastic. And where it kind of continued that discussion of race relations in Akron. In 1997, Bill Clinton, when he was still president, came to Akron, and that was a big thing, where he touted Dr. Brown and the Coming Together project, and they had a town hall on race. Fantastic. And then from that started the Rethinking Race program at the university, which happens, I think, around every Black History Month or sometimes during the year, throughout the year, but usually Black History Month, I think, where they bring in a speaker. I think they brought in Montel Williams last year, and then a few years ago, I think Common came through a few years ago. But they also showed films by Black filmmakers, also other minority filmmakers, but usually black filmmakers, and there'll be different seminars and things like that for the month. Fantastic program. I don't think it was as strong the past 5 years or so as it was maybe back in the day, but it was still an effective program. It was only like once a year. But Trump's been screaming about DEI. And then most importantly, in Ohio, we have these Republicans screaming about DEI. And I hate this so much because my thing is, if I was in charge and if I'm talking to these Republicans and they keep screaming DEI, I would ask them, what exactly is DEI? And what exactly is wrong with DEI? And most importantly, what do you got against black folks? And that's what it comes down to. Because I refuse to say people of color. Because when you say people of color, you're lumping everybody into one group, and everybody's different. Latin people are different. Native Americans are different. Muslims are different. Everybody got their own. Asians are different. Everybody got their own thing. So I don't say people of color. I just go by the group. So since I'm a black male, I'm talking about black folks. And I would ask these people, what exactly is DEI? And how is it exactly harming everybody? Because if you look at the diversity numbers in at universities, in corporations, is all still low. The worst thing that happened back in the 90s is that there's a guy named Ward Conley. And Ward Conley he was a light-skinned brother. And the only thing his job was to repeal affirmative action programs across the country. Because it's like, well, we really don't need affirmative action anymore because, black folks are going to higher positions, so we don't need it. Yeah, lying bastard. Because I don't trust people. People hire people who look like them. And I knew once they start rolling back affirmative action, they're just going to start hiring more people that look like them. Then the courts got into it and they rolled back affirmative action. And then like a couple of years ago, they talked about critical race theory, even though these guys have no idea what critical race theory is. I would love to. So if I'm talking to the president of the University of Akron or just any of that board, I would say, what exactly is the problem with rethinking race? How is this hurting anybody? The purpose of a university is to broaden the mind of the students. My first year at the University of Akron back in the day, I had a class, an African American history class taught by the great Dr. Neil Holmes. And I wish I still had this book. And that one class, I learned so much about the history of black folks, black history in our country. It's just amazing. I didn't learn this stuff while I was in school. I learned about Martin Luther King, John Henry, and he died racing a train, battling a train, maybe Rosa Parks, George Washington Carver, and that's about it. It took Spike Lee and Public Enemy and Boogie Out Productions and me in a different world and taking these classes by Dr. Holmes and others for me to learn about the true meaning of black people in this country. But that's the thing. That's the problem. And that's why they're screaming DEI. They don't want kids to understand the contributions to black people in this country. It's okay to say, like, I have a dream of Dr. King. They might bring up Malcolm X, they'll bring up Rosa Parks. If you ask these Republicans about black history at all, they say, oh, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Obama, Patrick Mahomes, and OJ. Oh, and Tupac and Biggie. That's all they know. So I'm trying. So these are the intellect of people that we're supposed to follow. Ohio is a very gerrymandered state. And the people have voted that we don't want this gerrymandering thing anymore. And we told the Republicans, fix this map, because there's so many weird positions where these guys are placed in the office. Like, some of these Republicans would be out of Congress if they actually fixed the map. But they keep on not doing it. But unfortunately, Ohio's mostly red now. Like, it's such a weird state. Like, Obama won Ohio twice, and Trump has won Ohio ever since. And again, the cities like Cleveland, Columbus, the big cities, they always go blue. But that damn rural area, and some suburban, but damn rural area, man, those rural areas, for some reason, they keep on going red, and we lost a lot of talented young folks. So now Ohio's a red state. The politicians don't even come here anymore. Man, Obama came here, the campaign. Clinton used to come here to campaign. Shoot, Cameron didn't show up here at all. Trump came a few times because I think he knew he's going to win the state. But back to Rethinking Race. So yeah, if I'm the leader, if I can sit down with the president of the University of Akron and say, listen, man, I'm an alum. This Rethinking Race program's been around forever. Why are you so damn scared of these guys? What, they're going to cut your budget? So what? Who cares? Because the thing is, you give those guys power. And that's going across the country. You give these dumb Republicans all this power. And the Democrats aren't really fighting back. I don't know why they're not fighting these guys. But you know who it comes down to? The students. Students of the University of Akron, or just any college campus who's going through this same thing. You guys got to fight. You guys got to protest. You guys got to fight for these classes. And not just Rethinking Race. These universities, they're pulling all these different programs that's good for the students. For budget cuts. All these students pay all this money for college. That they keep on cutting programs. Where's all that money going? Open the books. But yeah, students need to protest. And guys, listen, go back in history. Watch what students did during the civil rights movement. I know you guys don't study stuff past 10 years, but I really want you to at least watch a documentary and learn about SNCC, or just see what they did. And also realize it's not just marching. It's marching, it's political, and it's legal. You got to fight in the streets. You got to fight in the poll booth, and you got to fight in the courts. The civil rights movement wasn't just about King marching, and that's just a part of it. He had to negotiate with these guys, and then the NAACP and the Urban League, when they were about something back in the day, they fought these things in the courts. Now, if you don't want to go back that far, go back to like in the late 80s and early 90s when black students was fighting against apartheid. Look what the type of things they was doing back then. If you don't want to go back to the 60s, even though that's the foundation for all this, at least go back to the 80s and learn when black students were fighting against apartheid in America because Nelson Mandela was still locked up in South Africa. Look at that stuff. But students, you got to fight. On behalf of Gen Xers who are leading these organizations, even though there's still a bunch of boomers, I apologize for Gen Xers who are in these positions who are letting you down. They forgot what they learned. These people came through the grunge era. They understand. They understand about fighting, but they forgot to fight. So students, it's on y'all. My beloved University of Akron, I still love you. You're my university. I still got friends there. I've just got friends that graduate. I'm still a Zip. But you guys is letting us down. The board letting us down. This president letting us down. And for what? Besides Republicans who don't know any history. And most importantly, they're scared. They're scared that black students will learn what black folks really done in this country. We're more than MLK. We were inventors. We created things. But see, they don't want us to know that. They just want us to play basketball and rap. And that's sad.